Hey there, quirky people! I am your host, Anna, and today we're going to look at some of the most powerful weapons in the MCU right now. Things have taken a very sinister turn with Phase 4. There have been a few ups and downs, but the multiverse saga hasn't shied away from introducing some powerful new characters and weapons. Up until Phase 3, we only had a few weapons like Mjolnir, the Stormbreaker, and Cap's shield. And things mostly revolved around the Infinity Stones, as it was the Infinity Saga after all. Since then, the Infinity Stones have become nothing more than paperweights.
We actually got a lot of those.
Some of the guys use them as paperweights.
And some other powerful weapons have become MacGuffins of the multiverse saga. Thor 4 saw the return of Mjolnir with an upgrade, but the other new weapons are much stronger than even Mjolnir. Join us in this journey as we break down the 7 most powerful weapons of Phase 4. Before the first, I'd love it if you guys would hit those like and subscribe buttons. Now to start things off, we have the Darkhold.
The Darkhold.
You're familiar with the Darkhold?
I know it's the book of the damned, and that it corrupts everything and everyone that it touches.
WandaVision brought the Darkhold into the mix, and it certainly has to be the most powerful weapon to have existed in the entire MCU multiverse. With the kind of spells that were prescribed in this book, its power levels are beyond imagination as it led to the destruction of several universes. And it is what turns people evil. Agatha Harkness turned into an evil witch, and then it manipulated Wanda into wreaking havoc on the entire multiverse. Maybe the Book of Vishanti would have proven to be more powerful than this one, but it was destroyed like it held no value. The Darkhold, on the other hand, has been troublesome even in the comics as well. It has spells to summon monstrous beings. Then there are spells to create and destroy vampires. Other spells could create bridges between multiple dimensions. Basically, the Darkhold can help you do anything you want. And it also has prophecies that could call Chthon to Earth, and no one would want that. So, it's good that Wanda destroyed it in every universe, or else it would have become an even bigger problem in the future.
I opened the Darkhold. I have to close it. No one will ever be tempted by the Darkhold again.
Next up, we've got the 10 Rings. In the comics, the rings were found by the Mandarin in a crashed spaceship which was full of alien beings. These aliens looked like a fusion between dragons and men. They had a peculiar look and had even more peculiar tech. These people are the Mukluans from the planet Muklu 4. Axon Kar was an explorer who used the Rings of Power as a battery for their interstellar engine. Earth science could not explain the functionality of the rings, but as soon as the Mandarin saw them, he knew that he must steal them.
They're not vibranium. Chitauri?
Not like any alien tech I've seen.
The man is as power hungry in the comics as in the movie. The movie does not go into much detail about the origin of the 10 rings. We were only told that the rings were found by Wenwu somewhere in a tomb, a crater, or some old ruins. This makes us think that we are yet to see their true power in the MCU. In Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, the rings seem to grant immortality to their wearer. This was not an ability they possessed in the comics. Moreover, the MCU version seems to be far more docile than the comics version. Don't get us wrong, the 10 rings are capable of causing a lot of destruction, but they cannot hold a candle to the destructive power of the Rings of Power. Regardless, the movie version seems to possess a large degree of kinetic energy. Not unlike Black Panther's suit, the wearer can also share this energy. The 10 Rings of Power in the comics have varied powers. Each ring houses a great warrior with their own ability. This makes the comic version much more powerful and destructive. We expect to see this realized in future movies, although we are unsure whether that will be Shang-Chi 2 or some other project altogether. But still, the rings are quite strong as Shang-Chi was able to take down the gigantic soul-sucking dragon with them. And they can be used in some very unique ways. After the 10 rings, we were introduced to the Ebony Blade. Now this is a very interesting weapon. It is one of those that Marvel stole from ancient myths, much like most of their other storylines. I mean, just look at the entire Asgard pantheon. Marvel really made great use of the Norse mythology there. And similarly, the Ebony Blade was found in a lot of fantasy settings. Including numerous games and books, it is often associated with a dark deity and is said to corrupt the hearts of the users. How peculiar, huh? Marvel's version of the blade was created by Sir Percy and Merlin. Merlin used the Starstone meteorite to create the enchanted blade. It was then blessed with the ability to cut through anything. I mean literally anything. Who knows? The MCU might give it the ability to cut through vibranium as well. Anyway, the blade also granted its user the power to not die. Yes, I literally mean invulnerability from death. It is a strange power, but the blade has it. And what's amazing is that it is also capable of deflecting all magic. But the sword has one major downside. The blade influences the user in such a way that they end up as bloodlust beasts. Null, the Clinter god, noted that was Merlin's trickery. He specifically made the blade corrupt those who use it so that they end up like savages. His theory was that the blade was created for the impure of heart, so their dark side was accentuated when they used the weapon. This would mean that the user would soon devolve into a berserker. We're going to witness Dane Whitman carry the Ebony Blade in the future. It will be interesting to see how it turns him into the Black Knight and whether he gets corrupted or not. As for the fourth weapon, we have the Nago Bands. Kamala Khan's bangle turned out to be an extremely powerful weapon that unlocked her Jinn powers.
So it looks like your power isn't coming from the bangle. It's coming from within you. Like the bangle unlocked the superhuman part of you.
Since it was taken off the hand of a Kree being, it is safe to assume that it is inspired by the Nago Bands from the comics. These millennia-old Nago Bands were powerful relics of the Kree Empire. They grant their wearers some crazy abilities as they are able to transform mental energy into physical energy. That's what happened in Ms. Marvel, as she was able to create anything she thought of. The Nago Bands can generate force fields and also allow teleportation. This was even true in the MCU. The original Captain Marvel was gifted these bands by the Kree Supreme Intelligence, and they also led people into the negative zone. But here in the MCU, they seem to allow people to travel into the Noor dimension. We are yet to understand the complexities of Kamala's bangle, but it is obvious that we'll see another one of them in the upcoming movie, The Marvels. After this one, we've got the all-black Necrosword.
The sword chose you. You are now cursed.
This one comes straight out of the pages of Symbiote Comics. The all-black Necrosword is more of a living being than a weapon.
Go to eternity. It's revenge you seek.
It was created by one of the eldritch gods of the Marvel Universe. He called himself Null and claimed dominion over the void. Born out of spite for the light of the Celestials, Null created the first symbiote in the form of a sword. To display his power, he used this sword to behead a Celestial, who came to be known as Nowhere, at least in the MCU. Even though we haven't gotten Null and his backstory in Thor: Love and Thunder, a similar origin for how Gore gets the sword was still implied. This sword has the power to end the life of a divine being, and that made it extremely dangerous for all celestial beings and gods of the MCU. Besides its god-killing specialty, the Necrosword empowers its user with superhuman strength and durability, and it can also create an army of black symbiote like berserkers. So all in all, it proved to be an extremely powerful weapon that stood against Stormbreaker with ease. And another strong weapon revealed in the film was Zeuss's Thunderbolt. Thor went to Omnipotent City to raise an army of gods against Gore the God Butcher. Instead, Valkyrie and Thor settled for Zeuss's Thunderbolt as they knew how strong it was. It acted as a conduit to Thor's powers. In fact, his abilities were actually enhanced with it. This weapon wasn't just good for tricks, as it could easily withstand the all-black Necrosword. As the name suggests, it could be used to attack with several thunder strikes, and Thunderbolt also allows teleportation throughout the universe. Now finally, we've got the Bloodstone.
It can have only one keeper.
MCU's Halloween special, Werewolf by Night, introduced us to yet another powerful supernatural relic, and that's none other than the Bloodstone. It was controlled by the Bloodstone family. As we saw, it is a weapon unlike any other and proved to be very effective against supernatural beings and monsters. Not only can it weaken monsters and make them angry, but it can fully destroy them. And we also noticed how it can unleash a monster in hiding. It usually requires a master. Ulysses Bloodstone held it for decades, and now his daughter Elsa Bloodstone has become its new master. It will be interesting to see where the Bloodstone returns next, but I am sure that we'll be seeing it in a Midnight Suns project sooner or later. Okay, this brings our list of strong weapons phase 4 to an end. Which of them are you excited to see? Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!